Hey guys, I'm back with some good information. If you guys have been looking, I put out a video about 3 days ago and I put out some Instagram posts about 3 days ago mentioning some CATRA testing and asking for some help with some funding for that CATRA testing. So we have been funded. You guys have helped us out tremendously. We couldn't have done it without you. I'm putting this video up just to keep you guys up to date. I'll get into a little bit of the background for those of you that aren't up to speed with the whole situation, but I just wanted to thank everybody and I wanted to share everything with you all as I get the information. So these are all the donations we've received over the past 3 days. I'm going to come back to this bottom number here in a second. So you can see just everybody, all of the support, and that has gotten us to $503.10. To give you a breakdown on well, let me talk about this first. If you look at it, there are no donations with any change. So you're probably wondering, where's the 10 cents come from? This came from me selling my Maximet Pair 2. I had to pay $7.90 to ship it to the guy. That's where the discrepancy in the math comes from. Every penny that has been given, donated, or generated is going towards this project. So I just want to be upfront and clear with that. I hope you guys can't hear my dog scratching in the background. He continues to mess up every time I try to record this, so I'm not shooting it again. Anyway, thank you for everything you have done. This has been tremendous. The guys and I, again, that's SharpDad33, EDC Gear and Guns Reviews, and Odorod Dumante. We are the the four people that have kind of split off, and we are now trying to work on some CATRA testing. And that kind of gets me into the background of the situation. What is CATRA testing? Why am I talking about CATRA testing? And who even cares? So the way this all started is I originally had an idea. I'm part of the group loosely known as the HRC testers. I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of specific names because I'll forget some names and I don't want to leave anybody out. If you've heard these people referred to, and I'm sure you have, I'm one of those guys. The guys and myself were kind of getting some feedback that the cardboard cutting was not scientific enough to generate any solid conclusions, any valid conclusions. The natural variables induced by doing it at home, by having a human perform the cutting and the sharpening, and the fact that the cardboard was, just random cardboard, and it's batch to batch and the variance there. So the counterpoint to that was there needed to be some type of scientific testing done, so that way we can draw true scientific conclusions and therefore translate that data into some real world application. That was the counterpoint to cardboard cutting at home. I talked to the guys and the HRC testers, and I said, hey guys, people are posting videos and there's a response and it's back and forth, and I don't see anybody but a few guys cutting the cardboard, and it's more talking than it is actual actions, and everything is very theoretical. Why don't I get some knives together, an S30V knife and an M30 knife. The reason for those two knives specifically is because that's where the largest trend has been noticed. And there will be more data coming out from some of the other HRC tester guys about that, but I'll leave it at that. S30V, M390, and analogs, that's where the largest trend has shown up. So I propose that we send out a proposal, general, broad, but hopefully attracting some of the individuals that were requesting the scientific testing. Therefore, we could all perform the actions and then come back to the table and speak to what we observed during the process. So that way we could have an actual dialogue based around the concrete action rather than theoretical dialogue and passive videos, if that makes sense. So I didn't get much response. I definitely didn't get any response from the individuals I was hoping to get the responses from. However, there were 4 people that responded initially. That trimmed down to 3, which was like I said, EDC, Gear and Gun Reviews, Sharp Dad 33, and Odorod Dumante. So we got together and then we started talking about doing the pass around, doing the cutting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the gentlemen mentioned the same thing we had been hearing in the community: limit variables, scientific testing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, hey, there are 4 of us now. Surely we can get the knives together. We all own knives. I said, and at that time we didn't know how much testing was going to cost. So I said, and surely we could probably fund that testing so that way we can get the data that is being requested even within this now subgroup of the HRC testers. So I went back to the guys, talked to them, said, hey, what do you think about that? CATRA testing, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was on board. And really the main thing about it is this is going to allow us to use the scientific data, the CATRA data, and look at all of the data that has been generated by the HRC testers and compare the two. So we'll see any differences or similarities there, and we can have real world data and scientific data meeting in the middle to see the correlation. Again, I hope that makes sense. So they were all on board. They thought it was a great support to the project that's already well underway, and it was being called for by the community. So definitely it would provide us with the information to look at and find correlations or differences, and it would provide the community with the information they were requesting. So I got back with the other guys, which we're calling Project Action, and they were on board. We all put out a call for the donations. We got the donations, and now we're at the point where we just need to get the knives all sent to me so that way I can get them all sent to the UK so that they can be tested. Now, what is CATRA testing? What is our time frame, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we are going to send the knives into CATRA, which I will put the description of it. I can't remember it. Cutlery something association, but basically it is an association that has set the international standard for edge retention and stability testing for industrial purposes, but it's been requested for personal purposes. In this case, pocket knives. They're not, industrial tools. So we're going to apply their tests to our personal tools. So what they do is they put the knife into an apparatus. That knife exposes a specific amount of the blade's edge to a piece of cardstock that is impregnated with 5% silica. This 5% silica acts as an abrasive, a controlled abrasive, and it will give some data at the end of the cutting. The knife is the same motion, same amount of pressure, same angle, same everything is pushed into the cardstock to perform a cutting motion, and then, like I said, it generates data. So once that takes place, we get all that. Oh, they also sharpen and they HRC test, so you can draw the correlation between HRC and the cutting performance as well. And the sharpening provides consistent angle, finish, all that stuff across the board. So everything is controlled, which is, like I said, what was being asked for. This process takes 7 to 10 days, and it's what we're going to have done. With that being said, there have been a few things. Steve, Super Steel Steve, he did some research of his own on the cardboard, because one of the things that was said is that cardboard does not have a standard. Well, come to find out, cardboard does indeed have a standard, and the long and the short of it is he goes through the whole process in his video that he just dropped last night. You can go over and see his video. Not here to steal his thunder, but basically it is a controlled process. The product is 100% cellulose, which is the cell wall of a plant, if you're not familiar. And it's very homogeneous, and it is very consistent from batch to batch. So there is a standard, the material is consistent, and that is not a variable in the sense that it's different from one piece of cardboard to the next. And we're speaking plain, unbleached, general cardboard. There is a standard for that. So that's that part. Just want to share that information with you guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I have not touched on. Like I said, hopefully within a month, we'll have the knives sent out and returned to us with the data. You guys, we could not have done it without you all. This test is in correlation with the other HRC testing, and it does serve as a check and balance system of some extent, as well as to provide the data that the community has been requesting and has funded. So overall, we're looking to build upon what we've already done and just kind of now take it a step further. So we appreciate you guys, all of us. I've talked to the HRC testers as well. Even some of them have helped contribute to the testing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We look forward to bringing this information to you all. And just, I can't say thank you enough. Thank you.